This is Jason. Do you recall the video I created about Noli? It goes something like this. Yes, well, I enrage a lot of people because it's not Forsaken's worst killer. And everyone says, Votan, you suck at Forsaken. Noli is not bad, you just suck. So to make it up for you, here's the actual worst killer, Jason. Now some NPC would say something like, Jason hitboxes are insane, now please shut up. It has been said that Jason is the most annoying killer in Forsaken to deal with. This screenshot of a random YouTuber poll shows that Jason has been voted the most annoying killer in Forsaken, while Cool Kid has received the fewest votes. However, it appears that they are the ones lacking in skills. Jason can certainly be countered. When people say Jason's hitboxes are insane, they're really just referring to Behead, which can hit a survivor a bit far away. To explain why Jason is not as crazy as people think, I'll start off with his playstyle. Jason is a melee killer, therefore none of his attacks are range. This is a big weakness for Jason because he will easily lose a lot of stamina when chasing someone. Jason makes up for this by having the fastest walk speed and sprint speed. Its sprint speed is 28 and its walk speed is 9. So he can therefore catch up to you much more easily than any other killer, right? That is, if you don't utilize your ability and manage your stamina wisely. Let's talk about Jason's ability. Jason's M1 deals 20 damage with 5 second bleeding 1 effect and has 0.2 second wind up. With the bleeding 1 effect, this amounts to about 28 total damage. However, bleeding effect doesn't reduce HP if the survivor has 10 HP or less. Because of its quick wind up, hitting a survivor who loses their stamina is fairly easy. Compare this to other killers who have 0.4 second wind up, which makes it much harder to hit survivors. The next ability is Behead, which basically lunges you forward, dealing 20 raw damage and inflicting helpless on the survivor for 8 seconds with an 18.5 second cooldown. However, you gain slowness 1 for 2 seconds, and that's it really. This is the ability that got everyone saying, Jason has a big hitbox. This ability is meant to help Jason actually catch up to survivors that are a bit far away. Behead can be useful to disable a survivor from using their abilities, so you can try to hit them again without worrying about getting stunned by Sentinel for a short while. However, you are inflicted with slowness 1 for 2 seconds, which means you should not run, otherwise you waste a little bit of stamina. Because of Behead slowing you down, missing this attack is very punishing. You should use Behead whenever they are slowing down to recover some stamina. Or if you're generally close enough that you think you could hit them while they run. Next ability is Gashing Wound, which just deletes 50 HP from the survivor and has a 40-second cooldown. This is done by getting close enough to the survivor and just pressing this funny button and boom. Gashing Wound is not something you want to happen to you ever. You practically delete half of your HP unless you guess 1337. But missing a Gashing Wound is a very fatal mistake because there is a long end lag. And finally, Raging Pace, which causes Jason to have a glowing left eye and reveals the nearest survivor's location. Raging Pace has a 30-second cooldown. In this phase, Jason's sprint is disabled, but his walk speed is now 19.5, which means you can outwalk survivor. But your stamina will be capped at 70, so you can't just abuse it to gain an edge in chasing survivors. Raging Pace buffs all attacks and reduce ability cooldown after use, except for M1. M1 can lunge you forward and do 25 raw damage instead of 20. Behead now deals 35 damage, and Gash Wound does a devastating 70 damage. Also, Raging Pace makes you completely stun immune, which can help greatly against 2-time who is trying to backstab you. Keep in mind that the effect of Raging Pace expires after you do any of these moves or after 14 seconds have passed. So is Jason really strong? Against players who can't properly manage their stamina? Yes. Someone who's extremely good at managing their stamina? Absolutely not. Every other killer has a way to prevent survivor from looping killers around because their attack can be used from a distance. But Jason has absolutely no attack that can help with this. They have to rely on their stamina management skill. But if you always get stamina to 0 every single time, then you're not going to be able to catch anyone. That's why you need to properly manage your stamina, making sure you don't have stamina ever reach 0. People say Jason has a second stamina bar ability using Raging Pace. However, this is only true when the survivors you are chasing are low on stamina, and so are you. That's when you should use Raging Pace. Most people I see just use it thinking they are faster than the survivor when they run, even though you're only faster than them in walking speed. It's so easy to outplay Raging Pace if you and Jason are like 10 kilometers away. Looping is really Jason's #1 weakness. You just run around an obstacle to evade Jason's attack. There's literally no ability that can help you. You need to hope the survivor makes a mistake by losing all their stamina or bumping into a wall too much. Jason can be good at punishing Sentinel. His most powerful attack, Gashing Wound, requires you to be close to the survivor. And if you want to land 20 extra damage with Raging Pace, the survivor has to be really dumb or not pay enough attention to the surroundings. But if the survivor is a Sentinel and they miss their stun, you can just Gash Wound them. Though this doesn't apply to Chance, who can hit you from far away, unless they try to shoot you up close. Gashing Wound has a 40-second cooldown, while literally any other killer with their own heavy attack like Mass Infection and Walk Speed Override has a much shorter cooldown. Jason has so many weaknesses all because of him being a melee killer. And somehow people think Jason is the most annoying killer. Like I said, these people definitely have a skill issue. I believe this is why people say Jason is annoying, because they can't properly manage stamina or loop the killer. If you really want to make Jason's life miserable, these two support survivors will do the job, and they are Dusakar and Builderman. Both can inflict the slowness effect. Imagine having either a good Dusakar or a good Builderman in the match. You will constantly get slowed down, making it much harder to chase anyone. If you want the ultimate character to counter Jason, then say hello to Noob. He is the survivalist who absolutely cooks Jasons. All you do is just use Bloxy Cola at the right time. For example, if Jason uses Raging Pace, which has some end lag, go pop a Bloxy Cola and run. You can use Slate Skin whenever Jason might be too close for comfort and you don't have enough stamina, or accidentally get your stamina to 0. And you can use it to prevent Gashing Wound from killing you. For a free character, this survivor sure is the biggest pain to deal with as Jason. You have to prioritize them and leave the most vulnerable person for last. Here's a fun trick if you're playing Guess 1337. If you play Guess 1337 and see someone getting Gash Wound, that's a free block for you. But hold on, don't punch Jason immediately, because at this state, Jason is stun immune, so stun them whenever necessary later. Learning Jason's weakness makes me so confident that I can beat like 80% of Jason's chases. Sometimes I do make fatal errors that cost me dearly, so don't get too cocky. Sadly, people don't want to learn how to manage stamina, and they don't want to juke the killer because they're too fixated on the popular belief that Jason's hitbox is too large. But is Jason's hitbox really big? No, it's literally the same as any other killer. It is just the Behead ability being able to launch Jason forward to hit survivor. All you need to do is properly manage your stamina and maintain a large distance from the killer, and try juking the killer to waste their stamina if they're too close to you. In that way, you will be able to avoid their attack most of the time and not have a skill issue like literally anyone else who says Jason is overpowered. Also, Jason is really ping based. For some reason, the code for Jason makes it so Gashing Wound won't always do 50 damage. The higher your ping is, the more likely that some or most of the damage you would deal with Gashing Wound is nullified. This is already bad when high ping makes it harder to hit people from close range, which is literally Jason's entire kit. That's why if you don't want to find a lower ping server, you should not play Jason if you don't want to suffer. But if you're doing this as a challenge for yourself, then go ahead I guess. But what do you think about Jason? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more Forsaken content, leave a like on this video to support me. To not miss out on my new Forsaken content, make sure to press the subscribe button with the notification turned on so you get notified of my new video. And as always, goodbye!